everyone, I hope you're doing well and I hope that you have a magnificent day. I'm here to do an intuitive card reading to see what insights, guidance, and messages the universe has for us at this time, especially in regards to walking by faith, not by sight, not getting tripped up by not seeing the physical results in, manifest in reality right away, being able to be patient and trust and allow the process to naturally unfold instead of jumping ship, staying in that aligned, inspired action, that kind of thing. So let's take a look at the cards and see what the universe wants us to know. First card we have is Apricot, Rejoice and Laugh. And the universe is wanting us to lighten up. Not that we have to sidestep and pretend and act like we're not struggling with what we are struggling with or we don't have problems. That's not it. The universe is wanting us to shift our focus, not to ignore what's going on, not to ignore reality and, deceive ourselves, delude ourselves, but to make more room for lightheartedness, for fun, for joy, for peace, that kind of thing, because so often we take life so seriously. But if we can shift our mindset, shift our focus, shift our frequency and energy, it's going to allow things to flow all that more easily for us. Because, think about when you're having a really bad day. Usually you get, fixed in and obsessive and just like latch on to all the frustration, the anger, the upset. And you're just like, today's just a horrible day. All these things keep going wrong. And it just like builds momentum and things keep getting worse and worse and worse. And you're just like, nothing's going right today. It's because of the energy and where you're focusing. But we can shift it. A lot of times when you're having fun, you're enjoying life, you're savoring the moment, you're getting out and just being like lighthearted and more carefree. Things just flow all the more easily for you. And so this is why the universe is saying, hey, rejoice and laugh. Don't, sidestep your problems and act like they're not there. Allow yourself to be human, but also allow yourself to be happy. Allow yourself to have fun, because it's going to open up all these doors for you. Okay. We also have Jade, take action, and that's another thing. A lot of us can get caught up in waiting for the perfect moment. You'd be like, man, I can't wait to have my dream life, but I just gotta, suck it up for now, and we don't take any actions towards the life we want to live. And so the universe is saying, hey, even if you just start small, even if you're not taking this huge leap of faith and you're trying to make it happen all at once, start taking action towards it. If you want to have, passive income and a side business so you can leave your job that is draining you, start with small things. Heck, that's what I've been working on. I've been working on all these coloring sheets, working on guides, working on, picture books. I've been trying to figure out how to do these digital cards. I've been getting tripped up with that, but I've been taking action because I want passive income. I don't want to have to be at a job all the time. And the jobs I currently have, I enjoy, but it's not my ideal lifestyle because, I have to drop things at certain times. And, with me, I get in the zone and I'm probably neurodivergent, honestly, but I, get hyperfixated and I don't want to stop. But I also, mean what I say and say what I mean, honor my commitments, and I don't want to fall through on that. So I'll force myself away from things because being of my word, having that strong character is very important to me. But I also am just it'd be nice if I could just do whatever, sort of, and I know that it'll have its own drawbacks and complications with that kind of life, but it would just be nice. And so I'm taking action towards it. Is it coming together all at once the way I would hope it would? Not quite, but if you never take action, it's never going to happen. You have to make steps towards it, which is why the universe is asking us to walk by faith, not by sight, to trust that things are unfolding for us, to trust that the seeds we have planted will grow, they will flourish, we will be able to reap our harvest. But for a while, we may not see anything in the physical. We may not see the tangible results. But that doesn't mean the universe isn't working behind the scenes to work magic and miracles on our behalf, to bless us beyond anything we can imagine. So this is why the universe is saying, hey, take inspired, aligned action. Be open-minded, trust, keep moving forward and staying the course, even if you don't see the results yet. Have patience. It is going to work out for you. We also have coral. Allow flow and synchronicity in your life. That's the thing. The inspired, aligned action. Sometimes you just get this gut feeling, this intuitive nudging, just like knowingness in your being is like, I should do this. And your mind will try to talk you out and be like, well, if you do that, it's not a for sure thing, and it could backfire, and all these other people, it didn't work out for them. Like, you know how the mind is. It comes up with all sorts of justifications, excuses. It wants you to play it safe. It wants you to stay in the known. It doesn't want you to venture out. Stay in the familiar. Stay in your comfort zone. It's good here. It's good here. You know what to expect. Even if your comfort zone is stifling you and like smothering you and harming you, the mind will be like, no, you don't want to do that. And it's like, but your heart and soul wants more. So if you can be open-minded and have an open heart and to trust, you'll be able to take that aligned, inspired action a lot easier, and you'll be able to go with the flow, to allow the synchronicity in your life. And you know how people are, they'll be like, oh, what a strange coincidence. I was just thinking about this, or I was just talking to this person about this. And it's like, there are no accidents or coincidences in this universe. The universe is very intentional with things, with encounters, with, resources stumbling onto your doorstep, metaphorically speaking, with the conversations you engage in or overhear, with the insights and intuitive hits and thoughts when it comes to your mind. It's like, oh, I should do that. There's a reason. There's a reason. So allow more of that in. Allow more of that in. And when we do that, when we rejoice, we laugh, we take action, we allow for the synchronicity and the alliance inspired action, we can live an extraordinary life. Cherry. We can live an extraordinary life. But if we're constantly playing small, dimming our light, settling for less, selling ourselves out, pretending to be someone we're not, how are we going to do that? If we're constantly listening to our brain's excuses and be like, well, I guess I can't do that. Guess I can't do that. It's not a for sure thing. It's like you're holding yourself back and you're settling and you're not living a life that you can thrive in. That's not to say that it all will happen at once. It'll take time. It'll take steps. You have to keep, working your way towards it. But how are you going to live it if you're constantly compromising and not sticking to your values and what it is you truly want, If you're not able to also see the good in life, to have the fun, to laugh, to rejoice, to savor the moments, to take action, to allow the synchronicity. If you don't do that, how are you going to live that extraordinary life? How are you going to have the dream life, Right? Enter the magic. Live in the now. Seize the moment. This is what the universe is saying. This is why the universe is saying, hey, there are no accidents or coincidences in this universe. Take that inspired aligned action. If you feel this nudging, you feel it in your heart and soul to go do something, listen. Take that inspired aligned action. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have it all figured out. It's okay. But even something as simple as oh, I should go to the store now. And you might be like, well, I never go to the store at this time. And I don't need to go right now. I could wait. If there's this strong instinctual, intuitive nudging and urging, compelling you to go, why not go? What's the worst that can happen? You could be meeting someone, or you could see a billboard, or whatever. It could be this that will help you spring forward and living that extraordinary life. There are no accidents or coincidences in this life. You can meet someone who could be a business partner with you, a new friend, a potential romantic partner, so many things. Or maybe they just have this They stumble across you and like you get in this conversation and they tell you the exact thing that you were looking for. They had the information you were looking for, you know? Or it's like you come across that billboard, or you have the radio on and you hear something on the radio that like it has that seed that was what you were looking for. You never know. So enter the magic, live in the now, seize the moment. Trust and be open. Be patient and keep striving forward, because you can live that extraordinary life. It can all come together for you. But you gotta work with it, you know? Yeah, the universe is opening up all these new opportunities for you. Declutter your life, glimpse a magical doorway. That's the thing. The universe is presenting you with all these doorways, all these opportunities, all this potential, all this possibility, but it's up to you to choose it. You have free will. The universe isn't going to force it on you. It can really, really encourage you. It could be like, hey, I know where you want to go. I know where you need to go. I know the best course to get there. I'm like your GPS. I'll keep course correcting and try to help you. But it's like, please, 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 like, go for it. This is what you want. But if you are too occupied with all these things that drain you, all these things that are harming you and are toxic, you know, all these things that are holding you back and getting you to doubt yourself, and it diminishes you and your self-confidence, and you have like all these toxic people around you, for instance, getting you to question yourself, to doubt yourself, to think less and less of yourself. They invalidate you, they gaslight you, they deceive you, they manipulate you, all those things. How are you going to live your best life if you're constantly being drained by other people, or you have these bad habits that you know you should kick, but you're just like, but it's the comfort zone. It's what I'm used to. It's like, you know, saying, hey, you have the doorway right in front of you, but it's up to you to open that door and to choose to walk through. I'm not going to force you. And it's like the magic lies on the other side of the doorway, but it's up to you to choose it. It can't force you. As the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. The universe could be blessing you with this abundant oasis when you've metaphorically been wandering in the desert. But if you don't choose to walk to it and embrace that opportunity, it can't force you. You could keep walking right past it, and the universe would be like, but it's right here, you know? You have all these new opportunities, but you gotta seize it. You gotta live in the now. Yeah. Access your gifts, explore your treasure chest, accept who you truly are. That's the thing. The universe made you this way for a reason. You have so much potential inside of you, and so many of us let it go untapped, ignored, let it wither and lay useless inside of us, dormant, because we're choosing to sell ourselves out. We're choosing to settle for less, to dim our light, to go in all these relationships, jobs, circumstances, environments, all of these things that are just draining us and keeping us small. We're trying to squeeze into this tight box when we're meant to be expansive. And if you have something that calls to you, think of ways to utilize it. Like me personally, I've always been drawn to the creative side of life, you know, art, writing, listening to music mostly. I haven't gone too much into playing instruments and whatnot, but like all those things. I've loved reading, just being creative, and that's why I've been, you know, working on these passive income things of like coloring sheets and picture books and all that, because I want to share that gift with the world. I want to be able to connect with other people. And that another big part of me is how I've always loved helping people and tending to people and nurturing people and caring for them, teaching them, helping them out. And so that was why I thought, you know, in high school when they're like, oh, you got to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life. You got to go to college. And so I was like, well, what could I do? Because all these things feel like major no's and feel like just ick and like kind of disgusting and revolting, honestly. I look at all these jobs, I'm like, definite no. Oh, I can't do it. I can't force myself to. But then I was like, oh, well, an art educator, that kind of like fits in a variety of things that I enjoy. And I tried to do it, but like the schools aren't looking for that my kind of instructional style. And like when I was in college, funnily enough, my middle school art teacher was one of the instructors there as an adjunct, and she was teaching for one of the art classes for like instruction, And she was talking about how she learned about TAB, which was teaching for artistic behavior. And I just like thought that was so great because everyone is both teacher and learner. It was a community of learners. The teacher wasn't quote unquote above the students, because how often are the students like very knowledgeable about a certain subject matter that they could teach others that the teacher didn't know? And so like, and it was more like the students had choice and voice in what they did. They could come up with plans for what they wanted to do. Not that the teacher wasn't there to help guide and nurture them and like help them figure things out and discover things, but it was like more open-ended. It wasn't all these cookie cutter projects and like that. I loved that idea. And so I would go into these interviews. The schools weren't looking for that. The leadership wasn't looking for that. They're looking for, what was it, the discipline-based art education, the traditional cookie cutter projects. They wanted like, you know, the discipline and the control and all these things. I'm like, but like art is one of the few places that they should be allowed more freedom, because all these other areas in their school days, like it's so restricted. It's like one right answer. You have to do this. Like, why not give them a little more freedom? Why not let them explore? Why not let them have some more creative expression and innovation? They didn't want that. And it's just like, even when I was working as support staff, they weren't looking for that kind of thing. I was trying to find little ways to give the students a little more freedom, a little more choice, a little more voice. And the schools hated that. And it's just like, I would see so many kids break down in tears, and it's just like, it broke my heart. It broke my heart. And so like, I kept getting kicked out of schools because they did not like that I wasn't like towing the line and conforming to their mindset as like, oh, it has to be, you know, this restrictive thing. And so it's just like, I obviously don't fit in there. And I do still want to like create that kind of space where people can explore and be creative and all that, but it's like finding the finance to do that is tricky. And it's just like all the schools that I've come across aren't looking for it. So I'm just like, well, I got to try something else. So I've been trying stuff like YouTube, having a website, all these things, and it hasn't worked out yet, but I'm walking by faith and not by sight, because if it's like bamboo, I heard that bamboo, it takes like 5 years of like not much growth at all, and then all of a sudden it shoots up. So it's just like any day now, all the seeds I've been planting could shoot up. But if I never took the action, if I never trusted, if I never accessed the gift that I already had and accept who I truly am, it wouldn't happen, you know? It wouldn't happen. And it sucks that I've gone through so much hardship, and I really wish I hadn't, but at the same time, it built my character. It helped me stay in my integrity and show me who I truly am, that I don't conform, that I stay true to myself. That, like, yes, I don't try to, you know, be chaotic and disruptive and cause all this drama and all that. Like, I am a very peaceful, gentle, loving, caring person, but I also can't just, like, fit into this mold and just blindly do what other people tell me. I just can't do it. I'll ask questions. And a lot of times people get upset about the questions. They'll say, you know how in school they're like, oh, there are no stupid questions. That's not how they really feel. So many people are just like, they give you this attitude and they talk down to you, and sometimes they even yell at you. It's just wild, you know? But we're coming into a new era where so much is going to open up for us, because so many of us are tired of the nonsense. We're tired of it. Right? Lepidolite. Recall your dreams. The universe doesn't want your dreams to die inside of you. It doesn't want your song to go unsung. It wants you to be who you truly are. That's why the universe is saying, hey, access your gifts. Explore your inner potential. You know, live in the moment. Enter the magic. Seize the now. Like, accept who you truly are. Because the dreams are inside of you for a reason. And, you know, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the universe is wanting me to do with my dreams, my goals, my gifts, my skills, all of that, because I do think that YouTube is a step in the right direction, but I don't know if it's it, you know? And so I'm just trying to figure things out, go with the flow, walk by faith and not by sight, because if you ask my family, I am wasting my time because I'm not getting the results right here now. They think that, that 9 to 5, that's the right way to go because it's a for sure a paycheck. And it's like, yeah, I get that. Yes, we need money, but I just feel like I'm selling myself out, and that environment just drains me. I tried that with working as support staff in schools. I tried that, and they just took advantage of me, and then they tossed me out after they deplete me, and I got burnout. And it's like, I don't want that anymore. So I've been recalling my dreams and trying to live according to that, to enter the magic, to, live that extraordinary life, to rejoice, to laugh, to take action, to allow the synchronicity. And yeah, adventuring, create your own luck. The universe wants you to know that what you choose to focus on, the narratives you choose to tell yourself, what you choose to give your time, energy, and attention to, what you choose to associate with, it can all create your own luck. Because if you're believing those limiting beliefs, if you're subscribing to all these negative narratives, if you are telling yourself like it can't happen for you and like all these things, if you're like letting this negativity, this doubt, this fear, the false evidence appearing real to fester, to, overcome you, overtake you, drown you, it's like, how are you going to have your own luck? How are you going to be able to have the faith and the trust and the patience and the courage to take those leaps of faith, to stay the course, to take action, to, enter the magic, to seize the opportunities, to live your dreams, to access your gifts? Like, how are you going to do that if you're believing all these negative things and that it's not possible? And the universe is saying, hey, remember that the word impossible literally says I'm possible. So you can create your own luck. You can speak things into existence. Your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, words, your energy, all of that comes and it can manifest the reality you want. Even if it takes time. Even if it's a seed that's been planted and it'll take a bit to show up, you can create your dream life. But if you're constantly like, well, it won't happen, I don't see the results, I've tried it, and like, I've been trying this since they kicked me out. I've been trying with different things, websites and, affiliate marketing and YouTube and all these things. I've been trying. And it's just like, if I believed that the results that started off, back in like, what was that, 2020? When this majorly started and I was trying to figure things out. Like, if I believed that, then I'd never live the extraordinary life. I'd never find my freedom because I would believe the narratives my family were telling me and all the, narratives of society in general, and just be like, well, gotta go to that 9 to 5. I gotta, trade my time for some limited money and all these things. Is like, we can create our own luck. There are no accidents or coincidences in this universe. We can speak things into existence. We can create and manifest our desired reality. So don't sell yourself short. Give yourself more credit. Believe in yourself because you are amazing. Okay. We have the badger, determination. Yes, the universe wants you to get determined. Not that you have to, be blindly plowing through everything and like pushing everyone out of your way, but be determined. Be committed to yourself. Keep showing up for yourself day after day. Even if all you do is little things each and every day because, you have limited time because you're still working that traditional job. I still have somewhat traditional jobs. That's why I'm, if you noticed, different setup. I'm here pet sitting for my aunt while she's on vacation. And so, like, I am doing more traditional forms of work, but I'm also trying to sow the seeds so I can have that passive income, so I can do things differently, so I don't have to do the traditional, because the traditional never felt right for me. And, if I gave up, if I wasn't determined, if I didn't have that drive, if I didn't have that passion, if I didn't have that faith and that trust, is it really going to happen? Am I really going to get to live that extraordinary life? And that the same goes for you. If you're not determined, if you're not committed, if you're not dedicated, if you're not persistent, if you're not resilient, are you going to be able to go the distance and create the life you really want? It's like, probably not. Because I've seen so many people around me, my family included, about how they'll have these big dreams, these big goals, And then they just let them die because like, oh, well, that's just not realistic. Life just sucks. So you just got to suck it up and deal with it. And, go through the daily grind. And even though you're drained and you're miserable and you're constantly complaining, that's just how it is. Like, no, you deserve better. So get determined. Stay the course. Keep moving forward. No matter how small your steps. Even if you have to take a break and rest, like, that's fine. Just get back up and move again. Yeah. The moose, authority. The universe wants you to know you are the authority figure in your life. You are the co-creator with the universe that can create any reality you want. You can make it happen. You're the leader. You're the head honcho. You're the captain of your ship, the author of your story, the architect of your life. You are the supreme ruler, the sovereign of your life, the king or queen. You get to choose. You get to call the shots. You get to decide what you'll tolerate, what's acceptable. And sometimes you might need to like make little compromises. Like with me, I don't particularly want to be doing like the traditional jobs, but I'm like, okay, I will do this temporarily so I have some sort of income so I can sustain myself until this other thing becomes a reality. So, stay the course, but you get to call the shots. That's why I'm no longer with that toxic group and the narcissist. I'm the authority figure. They thought that they could play these games, they could manipulate me, they could deceive me, gaslight me, invalidate me, belittle me, all these things, create smear campaigns, and that I was just going to roll over and take it. That I was going to be like, oh, it's okay, keep doing that, that's fine, you're not wrong. I gently, lovingly, and respectfully called them out so we could try to make a peaceful resolution. They didn't do that, so it's like, if you're going to keep throwing it back in my face and saying that I'm the evil one here, that I'm the monster, I'm the one hurting you and allowing negativity to fester because you don't want to hear it, it's like, I don't need to be around this. And so as the authority figure in my life, I walked away. I didn't, sink to their level and start throwing mud back. I didn't scream. I didn't curse them out or anything like that. I don't have bitterness or resentment or vengeance or anything in my heart for them. I genuinely hope that they can figure things out, they can heal and find happiness because they are quite miserable. And I don't need to exist in that. So I was like, I chose to walk away. And that's the kind of thing. The negative, toxic job environments that threw me out after the pandemic was over, they tried to get me to come back. I was like, you tossed me out like I was garbage after you used me up. Like, no, I'm not going back to that environment. You did me dirty. It's not like I'm going to be here resentful and like wishing your downfall and your demise, but it's like, no, I respect myself too much. And you're the authority figure. You get to decide. That's what the universe is wanting you to know. You get to choose. You get to take the action that is in alignment with you. You can create your own luck and seize opportunities, allow the magic in. And yeah, the otter, playfulness. The universe wants you to also not take things so seriously. Because a lot of times, with authority and determination and all that, we can get a little bit too serious. Like, makes me think about the person who asked me to be their accountability partner at the beginning of the year. That turned into a whole hot mess. But when I was gently, lovingly, kindly, trying to point out to her about how she was being too rigid, too controlling, like too fixated and like not being flexible at all. It's like, hey, what energy are you bringing to this? Because like, I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do, but like I'm seeing potential flags here. It could backfire on you big time. Like I'm trying to help you because you asked me to be accountability partner and asked for help with these things. And then she just started screaming about me. Of course I'm being so controlling and rigid and all that because it's my life. It's my livelihood. Rah, 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 rah. And we can get in that mindset. We can get in that mindset where we're too serious and it's like life and death and we're just like gonna like hardcore, I'm gonna make this happen. And how we can get in that mindset. But the universe is like, hey, lighten up, rejoice, laugh, play, have fun. Yes, take your dreams and your desires and your goals and your life seriously. Like, yes, you want to have the best life you can. Yes, you want to prioritize your well-being. Yes, you don't want to let people cross your lines and do you dirty and like walk all over you and disrespect you and all that. 100%. But that doesn't mean you have to be so I don't know, what's the best way to put it? It's like serious, but in a like negative kind of there's no room for fun way. Like, I don't know the best way to put it. But like the universe is saying, hey, you don't have to be in that energy. Because that energy isn't really an energy where things can flow, where life can happen, when the magic can enter, where you can. Because a lot of times you get those blinders on. You're so serious, like, this is the way it has to be. And then you're just like, hey, lighten up, go with the flow, play, have fun, be lighthearted, be a little carefree. Not where you, like, do things blindly and, like, it can come and backfire on you, but, like, lighten up. Allow yourself to take these detours, because a lot of times when you have that determination, that rigidity, and that control is like, it has to be this way, you lose your mind over the detours. It's like, how could this happen? This is all going wrong. It's all awry. Ah. That's my family. That's my family. They'll just go, everything's going wrong. Nothing goes right. Ah. And like, they'll scream and they'll curse and throw things and like stomp their feet and like slam things. Like, it's a hot mess, guys. It's a hot mess. But they don't have room for play and lightheartedness and laughter and fun and joy and peace. They're too rigid. They're too rigid. So the universe is asking for you to lighten up, because it's going to allow things to flow. We also have resilient. May your soul weather the storms. That's the thing. You can stay the course and weather these storms. It's not going to beat you. You can rise above. Like, it's going to be okay. But it's not always going to be smooth sailing. Sometimes the seas get turbulent. But you can see it through. It's okay. And if you hear noises in the background, I think it started raining. And also my aunt's dog is wandering about. Pause. May moments of calm sustain you. And that's the thing. You can pause. You can take a breather. You can relax. You can rest. You can rejuvenate. Yeah, that's definitely rain. But you don't have to take things so seriously. You don't have to get so frazzled. Like, now it's just like, I could freak out because literally if my mom were doing this, she would freak out and be like, oh great, it's ruined. Like, all this background noise. But like, that's the thing. It's okay. Life is gonna life. They're gonna be storms sometimes. And like, that's one thing that I think is one of my gifts, is that I can bring a lightheartedness to things a lot of times. I can look for the bright side, the silver lining. I can remember to breathe and like let things flow. Not always, I'm still human, but if you are having a moment where emotions are running high and things are getting turbulent and you're frazzled and you feel like everything's out of control, take a moment to pause. Take a moment to breathe. Allow yourself to process your feelings. Allow yourself to be. Like, you don't have to just keep charging forward ahead, non-stop, full steam. Like, you can take a moment to relax and rest and recuperate. It's okay. Just because you break doesn't mean you're not gonna make it happen, you know? Love. May you dive deep into your passions. That's the thing. That's why the universe is saying, hey, recall your dreams. Hey, access your gift. Hey, enter the magic. Embrace these new opportunities. Live an extraordinary life. Rejoice and laugh. Like, fall in love with life. Savor the little things. Get in love with life. Allow for fun. Allow for peace. Allow for joy. Because life is not meant to be miserable. We're meant to enjoy the ride. Not that we have to enjoy everything, but we're meant to thrive. Yeah, alive. May you delight in vitality. May you delight in the journey. May you create a life where you enjoy it and you can savor it and you can see the good and you can be grateful and you can enjoy things overall. Not that you have to enjoy everything. Not everything's going to be to our preference. Like, it's been super hot here. I don't do well with the heat. And it's been kind of frustrating because my aunt's backyard isn't all fenced in. And so, like, I have to make sure that her dog doesn't get away. Not that he usually does, but, like, sometimes if there's an animal, he'll chase it, even though he's old. But, like, it's not my preference that it's so hot. It's not my preference that, I'm going to be out there in the heat when it's, scorching summer. But it's like, I'll make the most of it. I saw this really cool hummingbird the other day, and then today I saw this really cool little lizard. It like had this blue tint to it, kind of like iridescent, and it was like a little cute lizard. And it made me really happy. Other days I've seen deer. So it's just like, I'm delighting in the journey and trying to make the most of it, even though I don't enjoy everything. And neither do you. You don't have to enjoy everything, but try to find lightheartedness, try to find fun, try to find joy, try to make peace with what is and make the most of the cards you're dealt, because just complaining about it and being super negative like my family, not that like I'm like poo-pooing all over them. It's just the contrast between my mentality and mindset and theirs. Just like, I can see how miserable it makes them. And they don't see the bright side. They don't see the silver line. They don't see the joy. And just like, one of my all-time favorites quotes from Uncle Ira, like, I know I've said it in these videos before, if you look for the light, you can often find it, but if you look for the dark, that's all you ever see. And so you can look for ways to make yourself feel alive. You can look for reasons to be grateful and to have appreciation, to have fun, to, enjoy life, to be in love with life, to savor. You don't have to make it so dark and heavy and restrictive. You don't. Yep. Free. May your soul sing freely. That's the thing. The universe is trying to set us free. The universe is trying to set us free. And sometimes these obstacles, these setbacks, these, results taking a long time to produce, it's just the universe testing us and preparing us to make sure we can actually handle it when we get it. Because, if the slightest little thing is going to make you give up, how are you going to be able to handle it once you get it, It's a process. You got to stay the course. You got to overcome and weather the storms. Not that it's always going to be easy. Not that you have to do it all on your own, but like with my family, if they blow up over everything, it's like, it's not in a mean way, but it's not surprising that they don't have more. Because they don't appreciate what they already have, and they lose their mind anytime the slightest thing goes wrong. And that's not to say that I'm better than them, because I have my struggles too. I have my weaknesses. I'm not better. I'm just as human as everybody else. But it's just like, the mindset you bring to things really does matter, and it can help you set yourself free, because peace of mind and happiness are inner jobs, the inside jobs. Like, you have to do it from the inside. It's your internal foundation. It's what you choose. It's what you focus on. It's the narratives you tell yourself. So set yourself free, guys. Set yourself free. We have shield. You need to defend yourself. And sometimes that's not necessarily from people. It's not necessarily from the physical. It could be just like the negative narratives, the limiting beliefs, mindsets that aren't for your best. Like, because sometimes we're our own worst enemy. The mind can deceive us. It can trick us. It can get us to settle. It can get us to, talk ourselves out of what we want, what we need. So protect yourself. Prioritize your peace of mind and your well-being. Do things that bring you joy, that help uplift you instead of, drag you down and diminish you, because especially in today's society and the current events, like, there's so much division and people lashing out, and like, protect your energy. If you need to, pause and, take yourself away from it, do what you can to replenish yourself. You deserve it. Make space for, joy and laughter. Hills, yep, obstacles to overcome. And that doesn't mean it won't happen, but it's a journey. And journeys aren't usually straightforward. There's usually the ups and the downs, the hills, the mountains, the valleys. So stay the course, guys. Take that action. You got this. And yeah, Vine, seek out information that will help you. And just by putting out that intention, it could help the universe bring it to you. Because the energy you put out in the world comes back to you. If you're like, hey, universe, help me figure this out, it will send you signs. It will send you messages. It may even send you people. And that's why the universe is saying, allow flow and synchronicity into your life. There are no accidents or coincidences in this universe. And this this gives me the vibe of through the grapevine. Like, you may hear things through the grapevine that will help get you to the information that you need. Table, hard work ahead. And that's more like, it feels like that dedication, that determination, that resilience to see it through, to keep showing up for yourself, to keep planting those seeds, to keep nurturing them, to keep watering them, to keep pulling out the weeds, even when you don't see the results right away. It's by walking by faith, not by sight. And it will help you reach that extraordinary life. It will. Nest. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. And it feels like you are setting up this nest for the future, this foundation for this new extraordinary life. And like with eggs, like in the nest, like it takes a while for it to incubate. So it's gonna work out for you. Stay the course, enter the magic, because all this good is happening for you, and it's gonna work out beautifully. I'm sending you so much love. Please take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.